Hello everybody and welcome back to 7 Minute Math. In today's video we're going to be going through some of the questions that you might see on the Math 2 Honors Benchmark so that you can pass with flying colors and get the A that your parents expect from you. By the way, all the questions we're going to be looking at today came from this Math 2 Benchmark practice packet that I have here, and only certain ones that were highlighted are going to be the ones that we're going to be looking at today. So, not all of them. So if you see me skipping around numbers, that's because we're not doing all of them. We're only doing some. In this example, the greatest common factor that's also a perfect square is 4. So what you need to do is you need to separate this into two factors, which in this case would be the square root of 4 times the square root of 6. Because 4 times 6 is 24. So the square root of 4 times the square root of 6 is also the square root of 24. So now what we want to do is simplify these. Are there any of these that we can simplify to get a whole number? Yes, there is. It's this one. The square root of 4 is 2. So you get 2 times the square root of 6, or just 2 square root of 6. The times is just supposed to be there. You just know it's there without having to see it. The answer is B. The second question we're going to be doing is actually question number 4 on the packet, despite being the second question, because remember, we're going to be skipping around a lot. This question asks, which expression is equivalent to 4x squared y cubed squared? The 4x squared y cubed is in parentheses, so we're just going to be putting everything in here to the second power. So first what you need to do is separate it into 3 terms, which are 4, x squared, and y third. This is everything that's in the parentheses, right? So then you take this to the second, and you just have to distribute it along the 3 terms we have here. So 4 squared is 16. X squared is going to be, because remember, when you're taking 2 to the power ofs and putting them together, you're going to be adding the value of the exponent. So x squared is going to be x to the 4th. And then y to the 3rd, or y cubed squared, is going to be y to the 5th. So putting this all together, we get 16 x to the 4th, y to the 5th, which is our C. So the answer to this question is going to be C. This third question that we're going to be doing, question number 6 from the packet, actually is a little bit harder than the other two. This one asks, which of the following represents the solution to the quadratic equation x squared plus 12x minus 27 equals 0? When solving using the quadratic formula, first you always have to make sure that the 3 terms, a x squared, bx, and c, are set equal to 0. So there's nothing on the right side of the equal sign. It's all on the left side. And 0 is the only thing on the right side. So what we're going to be doing is using the quadratic formula, which is x equals negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So first we need to plug in our negative b. X equals negative 12, right? Because our b is 12. So negative 12 plus minus the square root of b squared, which is 144, minus 4ac. 4, 1, negative 27. So negative 27 times 4, since the 1, we don't do anything with that. Negative 27 times negative 4, which is going to give us a positive, so 144 plus, since it's 2 negatives, that make a positive. 27 times 4 is first 80, and then 28, so 108. 104 plus 108 over 2a, which is just 2. The next step after we've actually got our quadratic equation here is you want to simplify 144 plus 108 to make it one number. So you get x equals negative 12 plus minus the square root of 252, because that's 144 plus 108 divided by 2. Now what you want to do is find out what 252 can factor into. We get 36 times 7, which are factors of 252. 36 times 7 is 252. So look, 36, what's that? A perfect square. So since we have the square root of 36 times the square root of 7 is the square root of 252. The square root of 36 is just 6. So 6 times the square root of 7, which is also 6, square root of 7. But remember, we have to divide it by 2. X equals negative 12 plus minus 6, the square root of 7, divided by 2, gives us x equals negative 6 plus minus 3 over the square root of 7, which is one of our answers. C, once again. The next few highlighted questions were just repeats of the quadratic formula, and since we've already done a question on the quadratic formula, there's no reason to do more. let's get on to a different topic. Number 12. Which equation has roots of -7 and 4? A. X plus 7 and x minus 4 equals 0. X minus 7 and x plus 4. X minus 7 and x minus 4. X plus 7 and x plus 4. In this one, the plus goes first, and there's a plus and a minus. In this one, there's a minus and a plus. The minus goes first. There's 2 minuses in this one, and there's 2 pluses in this one. So which one is it? So we see the roots are -7 and 4. This means that to get to 0, you would have to subtract 4. And to get to 7, you would have to add 7. That means that x plus 7 and x minus 4 equals 0. See? Very easy, very simple. The answer is A. Number 13. To solve x squared plus x equals 5 by completing the square, what number should you use? So, remember, the first step in solving a quadratic equation by completing the square is to move c to the right side of the equation. So, there it is. 5 has already been moved. As it's c, it's already been moved, so we don't need to do that step. The next step is to take half of b and square it. A is 1, b is also 1, c is 5. By taking half of b, 1/2, and squaring it, you get 1/4. Because if you're wondering how that works, it's because, think about this. When you multiply, that's also another way of saying of, right? Because when you have 2 of 3, you have 6. So when you have 1/2 of 1/2, half of a half is 1/4. So our answer is actually going to be B, which is 1/4.